Wait a minute.
There's just one thing holding this back from being the perfect set, and I think you know what that is, but I'll get into that later. The Emperor's Throne Room diorama is based off of the climatic battle that happens at the end of Return of the Jedi, as all of you know. Taking that most iconic set piece from that final duel, the big window that Palpatine sits in front of, the set comes with 3 minifigures. The first of which being a partially new Luke Skywalker. The torso and headpiece is something we're all used to at this point, but the hairpiece is actually brand new, and for a first for Luke Skywalker, looks completely accurate to how he looks in the film. Just because the hair looks accurate, though, doesn't mean I'm a huge fan of how it looks in general. Unfortunately, Luke Skywalker suffers from having the worst hairstylist or barber in the galaxy. But in terms of Lego, I think it's the better looking hairpiece they've given Luke in years. Emperor Palpatine, as far as I know, is also a new figure. The torso, to me, looks new, and I know that the headpiece is also new. He's eerily enough missing his pupils. I don't know if that was done on purpose or why they did that. You can clearly see them in the movie, but it does add to the creepy aesthetic that Palpatine should have. He has 2 facial expressions of angry and even angrier, and they both look pretty good. The Darth Vader scene here is the exact same from the TIE Bomber, so nothing to dwell on there, but if you're new here, he has new arm printing and a new face print. Other than that, the rest of the figure is the same Darth Vader we've had for many years. Now on to the eye-catching build itself. I think this looks absolutely fantastic, and LEGO did a great job capturing one of the most iconic moments in the entire Skywalker saga. All of the surfaces are mainly tiles, which I love to see, with a few exposed studs sticking out for posing the figures. The centerpiece to the build and the most eye-catching section to it, the big window Palpatine sits in front of, looks really nice. It uses a printed circular piece surrounded by some regular LEGO windows to give it that effect and looks really good. Of course, like any set that requires repeated steps, building it was a little tedious, but it wasn't too long, and the end result looks really nice. Some other details the set includes is the little control panels spread all around Palpatine's throne room. These are pretty simple designs, but they're effective and they look great. Like every diorama in the Star Wars line, it does feature an iconic quote right next to a printed Star Wars tile. As always, both of these are printed. It's great to see that they're still doing that here. I think the quote they chose to use is great. And for this set and the other dioramas they've done this year, they've also included this printed 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi brick. I'm a huge fan of this inclusion, but if it's not your cup of tea, you can very easily just take it off and replace the jumper pieces with the smooth tiled piece that is on top of the brick. Being a diorama, the set isn't filled with too many features. The only things you can really do here is turn Palpatine's chair, and underneath the floorboards are a spot to store his lightning bolts. Because my favorite part in Return of the Jedi is when Palpatine had to quickly rip up the floorboards to go grab his lightning bolts to kill Luke Skywalker. It's not just the floorboards either. I'm happy to see that there are very few exposed studs in the entire build itself. It makes the whole thing look really nice, and I'm happy they went with this. Another cool thing I noticed that I did want to mention is that all of the dioramas are the exact same width, and I didn't notice this until I had this one built too. This is the 3rd diorama I have put together, and when I had them all side by side, I noticed that they were all the exact same width. Sure, some of them are different lengths, but I like that they're keeping that in line, and I hope they continue that to keep everything looking pretty uniform. Now here comes that one con. Unfortunately, this set costs $100 in the US, which I think is way too much. It does have around 800 pieces, so I feel like this should be a $70, $80 set, but $100 is way too high. I think this set is fantastic and perfect for any original trilogy or Return of the Jedi fan, but I'd wait for it to go on sale. It's just too expensive. There really isn't a lot more to say about this set. I'm not going to sit here and pad out the review and waste your time. I've kind of touched upon everything. I think the set looks fantastic, and if you can either ignore the price or wait for it to go on sale, I highly recommend picking this up. It's a fantastic diorama of one of the most iconic set pieces in the entire trilogy. And I'd go as far to say the entire saga. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts and impressions on this diorama, and I'll catch you guys later.